Warriors are a popular deck in GOAT format that has seen many innovations and has evolved substantially over the years. However, I think there's one amazing option that nearly all of the Warrior players aren't even considering right now. Welcome to GOAT Duels. Today, I'm going to show you this underplayed tech option, explain why it makes Warriors a better deck in today's GOAT format meta, and then I'm also going to give you my deck list. So if you're tired of the standard list of Warriors and want to catch your opponents off guard, you're going to want to try this idea. And the first card that we need to talk about is Gearfried the Iron Knight. Gearfried has been occasionally played in some Warrior decks in the past, and as a standalone card, it's not too bad. 1800 attack is considered pretty standard in GOAT format, and 1600 defense is enough to not die to Tsukiyomi. I've sometimes even put the card in defense to block hits from Mystic Tomato, or just to play around Mirror Force. Due to its effect, it also can't be taken with Snatch Steal, a card that almost everyone uses. Many players like to pair Gearfried with Smoke Grenade of the Thief, an equipped spell that lets you reveal your opponent's hand and discard a card when it's destroyed. Smoke Grenade can be combined with Gearfried the Iron Knight or Breaker the Magical Warrior in order to discard your opponent's best card on the first turn. This sounds great, but Smoke Grenade has some problems. Unlike Gearfried, Smoke Grenade does nothing as a standalone card. The only other thing that it can really do is kill a Spirit Reaper, which is pretty situational. Secondly, the Smoke Grenade combo is easy to disrupt if your opponent goes first. They can simply chain Book of Moon or Raigeki Break to your Smoke Grenade, targeting Gearfried, to stop Gearfried's effect from ever going off. This results in our opponent getting a huge blowout versus what was supposed to be one of our deck's best combos. Lastly, the odds are simply not on our side to open the Smoke Grenade combo. Even if we max out all of our combo pieces, the odds of opening the Smoke Grenade combo is about 25.6%. Compare this to Trap Dushoot. Even if we only play 2 copies of Trap Dushoot, we have a 27% chance to open it. In the case of Smoke Grenade, the risk is simply not worth the reward, and focusing on Smoke Grenade of the Thief has been a mistake of Gearfried players of the past. The other card that has synergy with Gearfried the Iron Knight is Blast with Chain, a card that has the potential to serve as Warrior's own Raigeki Break. Why do I like this card? Because it capitalizes on Warrior's strengths while also helping to cover for its weaknesses. Combined with Gearfried, Blast with Chain is a versatile removal card that can deal with problem cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict and Mystic Tomato. We can also use it in the end phase to try to snipe cards like Scapegoat or Royal Decree. By being able to target whatever the biggest threat is, it allows us to push forward with our aggression more reliably than normal. Unlike Smoke Grenade, Blast with Chain is great as a standalone card. We can chain it to our opponent's spell or trap removal to trigger its effect, and this is especially good versus Mobius the Frost Monarch, which is a popular card to side against Warriors. But more importantly, being able to pump one of your own monsters by 500 attack whenever you want to is surprisingly strong and synergizes well with the rest of Warriors' game plan. Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer and Danzlug both have effects that trigger when they deal battle damage. Blast with Chain lets your monsters easily kill Golem Sentry, Gravekeeper Spy, and Zumbrea the Dark. Having Blast with Chain in your deck makes you significantly harder to play against because there's just so many different plays that you can do with it. Your average Warrior deck usually looks a lot like this first place deck list from Lucas. As a tried and true configuration, we are going to play this exact deck, but cut 6 cards for 3 copies of Gearfried the Iron Knight and 3 Blast with Chain. Smoke Grenade will be in our side deck to bring in against the combo decks. So the major changes here are that we cut Premature Burial and 2 monsters for 3 Gearfried the Iron Knight. Gearfried doesn't really work with Premature Burial, so cutting that makes sense, and we've also cut Call of the Haunted, and by not playing any of these revival cards, we make our deck a little better against Kaiku. And then we've also cut 3 spell or trap removal cards, Zing Zenhu and Dust Tornado. We've cut those for 3 Blast with Chain. And given that Blast with Chain can itself serve as spell or trap removal, I think this is a good cut here. And then the only other minor changes that we've made are we've cut the Jar of Greeds for Trap Dushoot. I believe Trap Dushoot is very good in this meta, and I especially like it because we can use it to see if the coast is clear before we walk into a Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute. Lastly, and this is pretty minor, I did add 1 Book of Moon to the deck. partially because since our Gearfried does have 1600 defense, I feel like we can get a little more value out of Book of Moon than we normally would, and given that Goat Control is also making a minor comeback, I like Book of Moon versus that as well. Moving on to the side deck, I don't want to talk about this too much, especially since I think you could change it depending on your local metagame as well as your preferences, but one side deck card that I want to call out in particular is King Tiger Wengu. I think you could even side 3, but I actually like this card with Blasted Chain a lot against something like Goat Control, because if you just have a Wengu versus Goat Control, they might be able to run it over with something like maybe a Breaker or a Kaiku or something along those lines, but when you have a Blasted Chain on it, King Tiger Wengu has 2200 attack. They can't play Tsukiyomi, they can't play Scapegoat, they can't play Metamorphosis, and King Tiger Wengu is really a beast against that deck when you have the Blasted Chain on it. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have the 3 Smoke Grenades in the side. As I said before, that really only comes in against combo. We also do have Cliff the Trapper River, a popular side against Burn and other things. That's another card that actually gets a little better when you have Blast the Chain on it, right? Becomes a 1700 attacker that gets under Gravity Bind and can kill Speller Chops. So in terms of the results with this deck, I've done very well. I played it in 10 ladder matches, and they were pretty high-ranked ladder matches, a lot of people that had plus 1,000 rating, and I actually went 10-0 in those matches. Some of them were close, some of them I maybe got a little lucky, but I played against a lot of different decks, and overall I feel like this deck is very prepared to play against the meta, whether it's aggro, control, combo, whatever you face. So let me know what you guys think about this deck in the comments.